Welcome to Marlo Monday. I'm Steve Reynolds. This is Dartagnan. And Dartagnan, I know what our viewers are thinking right now.
Okay.
They're thinking, why are they doing this? And why should we care?
Right.
I'm glad they asked. We're doing this for a few reasons. One, as you know, I love talking about Marlo.
That's true.
I started when I was 15 reading kind of a surface level Marlo stuff, and thank God that John Rockerbomber was putting Card Finesse 2 out at this time, about 92, Card Fixes, things like that, so that I was able to get into Marlo. But it wasn't until in my mid-20s that I really dived into the Marlo stuff proper.
Okay.
You know, Marlo's books that he wrote.
Right.
Because it is challenging. And so I guess with this podcast, what we're going to do is dive into the denseness of Marlo's work and pull out some really cool stuff that's been buried and share with some of the younger guys out there that are they have the early Marlo books that Magic Inc. put out, but they haven't got into the heavier stuff like Marlo's magazines, which aren't available. And so I'm going to talk about some of the more obscure Marlo stuff. The other reason is I don't think that Marlo's understood. Even experts or people that are said to be experts I've talked to over the last 17 years going to conventions and sessioning, they know very little about what Marlo was really about. Okay. And so, again, I want to talk about that aspect and maybe bring to light, the depth of what Marlo did in 20th century card magic. And the third reason is there's a lot of Marlo fans out there, and this is a way to connect with them and talk to them about their passion for Marlo's work. And so that's why we're doing this, and that's why you should care, because we're going to learn more and more about Marlo, and maybe you're going to learn something you didn't know before. Hopefully many things, because there's a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. And this will be happening every Monday.
This will happen every single Monday until we run out of material to talk about. So never.
2041.
So to highlight certain things, we're going to do some tricks for Marlo, and I actually have, lucky me, I have a stash of cards that Marlo actually used.
So these are real Marlo cards.
These are Marlo
by Marlo.
There they are. These are streamlined cards from Woolworths, and I can see it's $1.39. So these are the cards, and I haven't even really cracked these open and these are decades old. I don't know how old, but oh wow, that's nice. They're a lot thinner cards.
Right.
But feel that. I mean, I can feel it right now. Feel that.
Yeah, they got really kind of soft.
Yeah.
Okay? And look like they furrowed really well as well. So they do right away.
Yeah, right away. That's the thing with Pharaohs is the quality of the deck, the quality of your hands. If you read Card Finesse, there's a whole little section on the Pharaoh.
Right.
But that plays a main part. Actually, I tell you what, let's do a trick. Might as well. D'Artagnan, I want you to take the deck underneath the table here and spread some cards. Just pull a card out at random and turn it face up and then cut it into the middle of the pack. Okay? So that's all you have to do.
Now we'll do that.
Yep, so this is just a random card pulled out, turn it, and I have you do it under the table because I don't want you to be influenced by that card. Some people have their favorite card, they turn it over and say, I don't like that one. And we don't. All right, so let's take a look at, oh wait.
What's that card?
I don't know. Wait a minute here. Oh, see, he usually writes on the flap here. It says, "Unexpected mates."
That's Marlo's handwriting.
That's Marlo's handwriting.
Very interesting.
This is fun when you discover these little things. Man, he wrote. Wow, that's his.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. The 10 of diamonds, and let's see what card you reversed.
The 10 of diamonds. Wow.
The unexpected. And let's see if there's no other. Nope, no other. Oh, these are rough and smooth. Oh no, they're just old.
They're just old.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
The unexpected.
A piece of Marlo. Very good trick.
And you can keep that as for. I tell you what, anybody that we'll have a question. We won't have this as the prize, of course, but the idea is to have a question like not too obscure, but a challenging question. And if you are the first person to answer it, you get a prize. Then not the deck though.
Awesome.
So, what's next?
Well,
you want to know where this is?
Yeah.
I lied to you. I knew exactly.
You knew exactly what you were doing?
Yes. So this is the Unexpected Mates from All-Ram file number 7. Now the All-Ram file is in a not very easily obtained nowadays. It was put out 1990 through 92, I believe. There was 16 issues put out by Marlo, Rocker Bomber, and Lee Freed. And it was basically a place where they could put letters and unpublished tricks, bits and pieces of Marlo's output that was, basically in the drawer in a box of stuff.
Right.
So this is one of the tricks that was in there, and I wanted to share this with you because it incorporates a switch, a very subtle, direct switch. That's one thing I love about Marlo's work is the directness. He sets the stage and then boom,
goes right
before you have a chance to even think that he could be doing something. And now, as John points out a number of times in print, Marlo's methods may be complex, but when you look at the overall action procedure,
right, it's very direct.
It's very direct. I remember one of the incidences that made me just fall in love with Marlo's work was my friend and roommate at the time, Dan. He loved card magic. He loved watching it. And in fact, when he was younger, he's my friend's younger brother. He actually learned the Vernon poker deal when he was like 13 or something.
Right.
So,
nice.
But he always loved magic. But when we were roommates, I would do all kinds of stuff for him, and I would do all the classic tricks. But then when I did and he loved them. I mean, they were great. I tried to pick strong stuff to do.
Right.
But when I would do a Marlo effect, the reaction was so different. It was more.
There was punch to it.
Yeah, there was just this. It was like he just hit the wall. There was no, and it it surprised me.
Right.
Because I'm like, there's something special about this brand.
Tangible.
Yeah, there's something special about this particular brand of magic, and so I delved really deep into it.
Cool.
So this is a great example. That switch is a great example of a very direct, that effect as well. But it's direct in its procedure. The spectator turns the card, the spectator cuts, and basically sets up the switch for you.
Right.
And this is a switch that he had, which is also available more readily now in Mint 2. It was in the new tops in I think 75 in a trick called it was a point of departure handling. And the reason he created it was to get away from the unnatural biddle type handling from the original. And he also used it in another way besides of a point of departure and kind of a prediction, an open prediction.
Right.
In Marlo Without Tears in '83. And so, but
And there's also a Dave Solomon handling.
Oh yeah. So Dave took the original point of departure handling and turned it into a transformation at the end, basically using Marlo's procedure with an added switch at the beginning, and it was in card finesse 1, which was 1982. That was double cross point of departure.
Nice. Well, that was a great trick.
Wow. And the cleanup on there, which you probably could see, is from the Cardition.
Nice. Nice. Well, this will be happening every Monday. Great stuff like this, great tricks, great subtleties, great strategies
Right.
Of Marlo. And we'll have a question every week. And to kick this whole thing off, what is this week's question?
This week's question is an odd one.
Okay.
It's an odd one. Where was the first transsexual reference in a card trick?
So where was the first reference to transsexuality in a card trick?
Yeah. Well, to be more specific, it was just a sex change operation.
Okay, so a reference to a sex change operation.
Yes.
So if you are watching this and you know that, hit us up. Send us an email, a tweet. All the stuff will be available below the video. Twitter address, website, and everything. You can just comment under the YouTube video if you wish. And there'll be a prize.
Yeah.
For somebody
and if you do answer the sex change question, you're going to love the gift.
Awesome.
Is that?
Well, this will be exciting then.
I'm scared. Yeah.
I'm scared now too. So that's it. Great Marlo Monday.
Yeah, that was
great
great.
kickoff.
Thanks for doing this.
No problem.
Thanks for joining in, and I'm looking forward to the rest.
See you next week.